Heartwarming revelation. After 3 incredible years of rejection, I discovered my true family. Jamie tugged her coat tighter around her as raindrops pooled on the worn pavement, their rhythm tapping out a desperate symphony of defeat. At 25, she was an orphan, and the world had a knack for amplifying her solitude. With every passing day, the white picket fences and cheerful laughter wafting from the homes around her mocked her struggles. She had aged out of the foster system, battling loneliness, systemic barriers, and the weight of shattered dreams that seemed to cling to her like an unwanted shadow. Heart heavy with worry, Jamie took the plunge and stepped into the local community center, the warmth of the building contrasting sharply with the storm outside. The scent of coffee blended with faint laughter floated her way, a gentle reminder that perhaps, just perhaps, she was not alone. It was inside these walls that she stumbled upon a support group, an unexpected gathering of outcast souls sharing stories that resonated deep within her heart. Each story shared echoed her own rejection, loss, an insatiable hunger for belonging. But then there was Frank, a retired veteran with kind, weathered eyes. His words were a balm on her weary spirit, wrapping around her like a favorite old blanket. "Family isn't always blood, Jamie," he said during a particularly touching moment, his voice unwavering amidst the charge of emotion surrounding them. "Sometimes it's those who choose to stand by you when the storm clouds roll in." Weeks passed, and with every meeting Jamie's heart flickered with hope. The others had become her family, finding solidarity in their resilience, supporting one another in a community forged from hardship. They organized rallies, fought for their collective dignity. Together, they were strong. But then came the news. A distant relative had surfaced, a flicker in the family tree that left Jamie's heart racing with the possibility of acceptance. Hope blazed within her, until the response was as cold as the rain outside. "We don't know you," they echoed, a piercing reminder of the prejudice she thought she had escaped. The echo of their dismissal stung like an open wound, bringing her to a new crushing despair. Feeling adrift again, Jamie leaned harder on Frank and her newfound family. They lifted her spirits, reminding her of the power of unity. But just when stability seemed like a soft lullaby, a secret unraveled. Jamie learned she was biologically connected to a powerful family in town, one known for their wealth and influence. Confusion churned within her. How could she chase these familial ties when blood had left her feeling unworthy before? Just as Jamie felt the warmth of choice, she stood at a crossroads of her past and future. Torn between 2 families, one she was bound to by heritage, another crafted through patience, empathy, and shared burdens. Would she risk it all for acceptance from those who turned their back on her in the first place? The question loomed as heavy as the clouds above, shaping her heart with lingering doubt. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Jamie felt the weight of her choices crush down as the storm outside intensified. What made a family whole? As the final echoes of doubt resonated within her, she steeled herself for the journey ahead, grappling with the most critical question of all. Could she find her place in a world that too often leaves people like her behind? The rain pounded harder against the windows of the community center, but inside, Jamie felt a flicker of warmth amidst the turmoil. Each raindrop splattering against the glass felt like a reminder of her burdens, but the laughter and camaraderie of her support group enveloped her like a comforting embrace. That evening, Jamie sat in a circle with the other members, sharing moments of triumph and heartbreak. Frank was there, his wise eyes scanning each face. They were a tapestry of stories, much like her own, a blend of hopes and losses, fear and resilience. Just as Jamie gathered the courage to speak, Frank raised a hand. "Before we dive into tonight's updates," he said, his voice steady, "I'd like to address something important." The room quieted, every gaze locked onto him. There's a power in choice, my friends. We can't control how we're born, but we can control how we choose to live. Jamie took a deep breath, feeling the support of everyone around her. When her turn came, she found her voice. "I found out recently that I'm related to a wealthy family in town," she confessed, the words heavy on her tongue. But they rejected me before I even had the chance to know them. Part of me wants to reach out, but another part don't want to put myself through that hurt again. The silence that followed felt electric. Finally Sarah, a bright-eyed artist, spoke up. Family isn't just about blood ties, Jamie. It's about those who accept you, flaws and all. Look at us. We're a family too. Nodding in agreement with a smile, Jamie felt a warmth swell inside her. Yet doubt crept in again. Was she meant to seek approval from those who had cast her aside? The thought twisted her stomach into knots. Later that week, Jamie found herself at a cafe, gazing out at the bustling street, heart pounding as she debated her next move. The city seemed so alive yet felt more isolating than ever. Then, as if the universe was listening, her phone buzzed. It was a message from Frank. Sometimes families need a little push. Do what your heart tells you. Those words reverberated within her. Maybe it was time to face her fears head-on. She envisioned the family she had, with laughter and acceptance, then juxtaposed it with the glimmer of a family that had turned its back. Could she brave the storm one more time? The next day, filled with a mess of emotions, Jamie decided she would try reaching out to her wealthy relatives. She took a deep breath and dialed the number she had discovered. The voice on the other end was curt, dismissive, and Jamie felt herself shrinking under the weight of their indifference. But she couldn't back down. I just want a chance to connect, she said, her heart racing. I deserve to be heard. The voice hesitated momentarily, leaving a silence that felt like an eternity. Then came the reply, we'll see. But it won't be easy. Jamie's heart thundered in her chest. Was this a door opening or another wall being built? With every fiber of her being, she clung to the hope that stood like a lighthouse amid her turbulent waters, hope not just for acceptance, but also for clarity. Would they welcome her in, or would she find herself still searching for a home? As she left the cafe, the storm had finally passed, leaving a fresh clarity in the air. And perhaps that clarity would guide her toward forging her own path. With trembling hands, she typed a message to her chosen family, needing their support now more than ever. I need you all. I want to share everything. As her finger hovered over the send button, uncertainty rushed through her mind. Could one message change everything? Just then the streetlights flickered, illuminating the path ahead. And Jamie took a deep breath, ready to step forward into whatever lay waiting. What would her choice lead to? Would it bring pain? Or would it finally unfold the promise of belonging? Jamie's heart raced as she finally pressed send. The message shot out into the digital void, leaving her breathless. There was no turning back now. She glanced around the cafe, noticing how the sun started to emerge, casting a warm glow over everything. It felt like a sign, as if the world was nudging her to step forward, regardless of the uncertainty that loomed over her. She couldn't sit idle any longer. After a few moments of contemplation, she stood up, smoothing out her shirt and exiting the cafe, the sound of the bell overhead mingling with the chatter of the streets. Determination washed over her. She needed to do more than simply wait for a reply. She needed to take action. With each step towards her apartment, Jamie felt the weight of her family history tugging at her. The family that rejected her felt like ghosts, haunting her every thought. The morning light painted the sidewalks in vibrant colors, energizing her spirit, but also amplifying the doubts that crept into her mind. What if reaching out was a mistake? What if they ignored her again? She shook her head, brushing the worries aside. She had already faced the worst. Now she was going to fight for the best. Once home, she took out her sketchbook, an outlet that had always calmed her soul. As she flipped through the pages, she stumbled upon a half-finished drawing of a family. 2 parents and 2 kids laughing and playing together. She hadn't meant for it to represent what she longed for, but it did. It was a reminder of what could be what she desired most. She picked up a pencil. The soft scratching on the paper synchronized with her rapid heartbeat, pulling her thoughts together. This was her way of capturing hope, and she poured all of her emotions into the artwork, filling it with color and life. Each line and curve served to inspire her more, a chance to visualize her dreams. Suddenly, her phone buzzed, snapping her out of her artistic trance. Her heart soared as she saw a message from her support group chat. Hey Jamie, we saw your message. We're here for you no matter what. Let us meet up tonight. Relief flooded her. No matter the outcome of her family connections, she had a home within this group. They were her chosen family, each member a piece of the puzzle that made her whole. Later that evening, Jamie gathered with her friends at the community center. The atmosphere exuded warmth and acceptance, as they all shared stories, laughter, and tears. Each moment felt precious, and Jamie realized how much they had grown together. Yet, somewhere in the back of her mind, the glimpse of her biological family lingered, tugging at her heart. During a quiet moment, Frank approached Jamie, noticing her distant expression. "You okay, kiddo?" he asked, concern etched on his face. I'm worried about reaching out again," she admitted, her voice quavering. "I really want to know them, but I'm terrified of getting hurt." Frank nodded, a wise smile breaking through. "It's okay to be scared. Sometimes stepping into the unknown is where the magic happens. Remember, you don't need their approval. You're strong and nothing can take that from you." His words settled over Jamie like a soft blanket. She drank them in, allowing hope and strength to fill the spaces of her heart. As the evening turned into night, Jamie felt something shift within her. Maybe she could face whatever awaited her. She'd take control of her narrative, no matter how her biological family responded. When she got home, she pulled out her phone. Her heart raced as she hovered over the number she had called earlier in the week. One spark of courage ignited inside her. "Maybe I should reach out again," she whispered to herself, her pulse quickening. But would they be ready this time to embrace her? Jamie took a deep breath, anticipation mixing with fear. In a world that felt both expansive and confining, which path would she choose to navigate? Ready to tackle the darkness that surrounded her with light, Jamie dialed the number once more, every ring echoing just how much she longed for connection. Would this call lead to a revelation or another rejection? The phone rang, each tone stretching the silence in her apartment. Jamie could almost feel the vibrations in her chest, sending jolts of panic as her heart danced erratically. What if they answered? What if they didn't? The possibilities spun through her mind like a whirlwind. Then, a voice broke through her spiraling thoughts. "Hello?" The voice was tentative yet familiar. Jamie's breath caught in her throat. "Hi, it's Jamie," she stammered, feeling exposed but empowered at the same time. Silence lingered on the other end. Her heart pounded louder with every second that passed. I reached out a few days ago. I wanted to connect." "I know it's been a while, Jamie." The voice cracked slightly, laced with disbelief. Can you hold on for a second?" The line went quiet and Jamie's heart sank. "Maybe they don't want to talk," she whispered, fear creeping back in. Just as she was about to hang up, a soft voice returned, this time tinged with emotion. "I can't believe it's you. I thought we lost you for good." Jamie's heart flipped. I want to meet you. I want to understand. Can we talk?" Her voice trembled, a mixture of hope and trepidation. "Of course, sweetheart, but can we meet in person?" "It's a lot to explain." There was a kindness in the voice that enveloped Jamie like a warm embrace, coaxing her anxiety away, if only for a moment. "Sure, yes. I'd like that." It felt surreal to make arrangements for something she had yearned for: connection, understanding, love. They decided to meet at a small park close to her old neighborhood, a place where Jamie had played as a child, unaware of the internal battles within her family. As she hung up the call, a wave of apprehension mixed with jubilation washed over her. She wasn't sure what to expect, but a small knot of excitement began to unfurl in her stomach. What would they look like? What stories would they tell? The questions multiplied, each one heavier than the last. As the day of their meeting approached, Jamie found it challenging to focus. She went to her sketches, hoping to lose herself in the familiar strokes of her pencil. But her mind wandered, each doodle morphing into thoughts of her real family: who they were, how they felt, and how they would receive her. When the morning sun broke through her window, Jamie felt its warmth seeping into her bones, intertwining with her anxiety and excitement. She dressed carefully, wearing her favorite blue shirt that always made her feel confident. She twisted her hair into a loose braid, trying to project a sense of calm that belied her inner turmoil. Arriving at the park, every step was both a release and a burden. Butterflies danced in her stomach, a confusing mix of fear and hope. The scent of blooming flowers filled the air, reminding her of new beginnings. She looked around, searching for any familiar faces, any sign that today wouldn't end in heartbreak. When she spotted two figures approaching, her heart almost stopped. There they were, two people she had never met but felt a faint connection to. As they drew closer, she noticed their tentative smiles. Her breath caught. Could this be the moment she had dreamed of? But what if it wasn't he? What if they wanted nothing to do with her after all these years? Doubt crept in, but she held on to the hope that had kept her moving forward. "Jamie," one of them said. A woman with gentle eyes that mirrored her own. "We've been waiting for this moment." And just like that, the tentative step she had taken to reach out felt like the beginning of something transformative. Would this encounter bring the healing she sought? Or was it just the start of new uncertainties? With her heart in her throat, Jamie took a deep breath, stepping forward into the unknown. What lay ahead would unravel a truth she had always yearned for. But could she handle it? "Hi," Jamie managed, catching a glimpse of both their faces in the dappled sunlight. The woman's eyes glistened with unshed tears, and the man standing beside her had a gentle smile that felt like an invitation. "Hi, Jamie. I'm Rachel, your mother," the woman said, her voice trembling slightly. The air thickened with emotion, sending a shiver down Jamie's spine. She felt a rush of warmth enveloping her, stirring something deep within. "And I'm Ethan, your father," he added, his tone steady yet filled with emotion. Jamie stood frozen, the weight of their words settling heavily in her chest. They were her parents, the very people she had longed for, the source of stories whispered in the quiet of her childhood thoughts. She took a shaky breath, searching their faces for signs of recognition, but found only hope mirrored back at her. "I can't believe it's really you," she finally managed, her voice breaking. Rachel stepped closer, her eyes searching Jamie's. "We didn't know how to reach you. When you were adopted, it tore us apart. We tried desperately to find you, but it was like searching for a ghost." Jamie's brain buzzed with conflicting emotions. Ghosts. That's what she had felt like for years, lost, unseen, drifting through life without identity. "I've thought about you every day," she admitted, her heart racing. "I tried to understand why you weren't there." Ethan looked pained, his expression softening. "We wanted to be, Jamie. Circumstances forced us apart in ways we didn't foresee. Every day without you was a struggle." Jamie's anger and sadness churned inside her. "But you gave me away. You didn't even try." The words spilled out raw and painful. A heavy silence fell. Rachel swallowed hard, her eyes glistening more fiercely now. "We had to make a choice for your safety. The situation was complicated, but it was never about wanting to lose you. We loved you then, we love you now." Jamie's heartbeat pounded in her ears, the weight of those words too heavy to bear. "Love, it feels so distant," she whispered, tears threatening to spill over. "How do I accept what you did?" Ethan reached out, his hand hovering just above her shoulder as though afraid to intrude. "It won't be easy. We know there's a lot to unpack and that you have every right to feel angry. We can only hope to explain to help you understand." Rachel stepped forward once more, her voice softer now. "What matters is that we're here now. We can rebuild. If you'll allow us." The words washed over Jamie, soothing some part of her that had been aching for years. Rebuild. A part of her wanted to scream, to run, to hide from the reality she had long imagined. Yet another part, deeper and heavier, yearned for connection. "I don't know if I can." The sound of children laughing nearby cut through the tension, reminding her of innocence and unclaimed moments. Jamie felt as if she stood at a crossroad, the path branching before her toward forgiveness or continuing the painful distance. "You don't have to decide right now," Rachel said gently, eyes brimming with understanding. "Take your time. We'll be here when you're ready." As Jamie looked at them, the space between them felt charged, vibrating with potential yet heavy with history. Her breath quickened. If she chose to move forward, it could either heal her or rip open wounds she had tried to sew shut. With a flicker of hope, another thought crossed her mind, one born of uncertainty but tinged with the possibility of healing. Could the answers she sought truly lie within their shared moments to come? "Maybe I can try," she said slowly, feeling a cautious optimism light within her. But deep down a question lingered. Would understanding her past bring her peace? Or would it only lead to more heartache? "Let us start with a walk," Ethan suggested, breaking the silence further. "We can share stories. Just talk like a family." The word family echoed in her mind, heavy and alive. As they began to walk side by side, Jamie felt a glimmer of something stirring. Could the journey ahead be worth the risk? And in that moment she wondered what. Other truths lay hidden, waiting to be uncovered. The three of them walked slowly along the path, the gentle sunlight filtering through the trees, casting playful shadows on the ground. Jamie felt oddly detached, as if she were watching a scene from afar. Rachel glanced sideways, her expression a mixture of anticipation and unease. "You've grown into such a beautiful person," she said softly. "The last time we saw you, you were just a baby." "I don't remember," Jamie replied, her voice flat but intrigued. "What was I like?" Ethan chuckled lightly, trying to ease the tension. "You loved music. Would sway and kick your tiny feet anytime a song came on. Always had a sparkle in your eyes." The thought of a baby version of herself dancing brought a small smile to Jamie's lips. "Did you sing to me?" "We did," Rachel spoke up, her eyes shining as if the memories were fresh. "We did take turns rocking you and singing lullabies. Even made up silly songs just for you." Jamie looked at her parents as she processed their words. Did those songs carry fragments of her being? Did memories truly hold weight, even across time? "Why didn't you come for me?" The question slipped out before she had a chance to hold it back. The light-hearted mood shifted in an instant. Ethan inhaled deeply, stealing a quick glance at Rachel. "We were told we had to stay away for your well-being. We thought it was the best choice. Trusting those around us who said it was for your safety. Every day without you was like standing in a storm, so close but helpless." Rachel added, her voice thick with emotion. "We tried to overcome the barriers." Jamie's heart twisted in her chest as she considered the depth of their pain. "And you think that's easy for me to understand? You chose to leave me." Rachel took a step closer, her voice gentle yet firm. "I know it's hard. We were completely powerless at the time. I wish things had been different. I would have moved mountains to keep you safe if I could." The weight of Rachel's words hung heavy between them, softening something inside Jamie. A flicker of empathy began to push through the anger she felt, but it was tangled in confusion. "But I had to grow up without you. I had to build my life from what was left. It's unfair." "We're not asking for your forgiveness right now," Ethan said, his voice steady. "But maybe, in time, if you see us for who we are, the people we've become, you might come to understand." Jamie looked down, her mind racing. The sounds of laughter from earlier echoed in her head. Family, her family. It felt tangible but distant, like trying to catch smoke with bare hands. "Is this real?" she murmured. "Am I really supposed to believe you both want to be in my life now?" Rachel took a breath, her eyes pleading for understanding. "We can't change the past, but we want to be part of your future, Jamie. We can share memories and create new ones. It won't be easy, but it can be beautiful." Jamie looked up into their hopeful faces. Long-held dreams battled against fresh fears. "I'll try to see where this goes," Jamie finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. For a moment they walked together in silence, each lost in their thoughts, feeling the weight of the promise made. But as they continued down the path, a new question knotted in Jamie's throat. If she opened her heart to them, could they actually create a family from the wreckage of their past? And what would that really entail? The sun dipped lower in the sky, reflecting the warm hues that mirrored the tentative shift in their connection, as Jamie felt the budding possibilities hovering just out of reach. Could today be the first step toward a new beginning? Or was it just another detour in a journey defined by uncertainty? The sun cast a golden glow around them as they continued walking. The air felt thick with anticipation, a mix of hope and apprehension swirling like autumn leaves caught in a breeze. Jamie felt a tug at her heart, a yearning to bridge the chasm between her fractured childhood and this moment of unexpected connection. "Do you really want to be a part of my life?" Jamie asked, her voice barely above a whisper. For the first time since they began this journey, she looked directly into Rachel's eyes. She craved sincerity, a raw truth that could pierce through years of hurt. "More than anything," Rachel replied, her voice shaky but determined. "We've dreamed of this. Every moment we missed, every milestone you reached alone, it haunted us. We want to be there for you now." Ethan nodded, placing a comforting hand on Jamie's shoulder. "We may be starting from scratch, but every day means the chance to build something together. A family needs a foundation, and we're ready to lay that down with you." The sincerity in their words hung in the air like a promise, yet Jamie felt a wave of anxiety ripple through her. Could they truly be trusted? She bit her lip, uncertainty gnawing at her gut. What if it doesn't work? she asked, her heart racing. What if you end up leaving me again? I can't face that pain. Rachel stepped closer, her eyes wide with empathy. We understand that fear. But we're here together for real this time. We've fought to get to this place and we'll fight to stay. You deserve to know that. Silence wrapped around them, time pausing as Jamie took it all in. She had been given this monumental opportunity to rewrite the narrative of her life. Yet the ghost of rejection lingered like a shadow. She wanted to believe but was afraid to hope. We can start small, Ethan suggested, sensing the wall Jamie was building around her heart. What about a family dinner? Invite us over. Let us share a meal. Can be casual, just a few hours to get to know each other as adults. The idea hung in the air, blooming with possibilities. Jamie imagined the three of them sitting around a table, sharing laughter and stories, maybe even creating new memories. But still the uncertainty loomed. Okay, Jamie said slowly, biting back a torrent of emotions. I'll think about it. Just don't get your hopes up too high. I don't promise anything. That's all we ask, Rachel replied, a soft smile breaking across her face. Just take it one step at a time. As they continued walking, Jamie's heart felt a little lighter. The path had turned into a metaphor for their journey, a winding road filled with twists, but also illuminated by the soft glow of the setting sun. She glanced at Rachel and Ethan, their faces reflecting hope and determination, and felt a flicker of warmth spread within. Let me ask you this, Jamie said, her voice steady. What kinds of things did you want to do with me back then? If I had been with you all this time? Ethan chuckled, the sound vibrant and casual against the backdrop of rustling leaves. Oh, we had all sorts of plans. Road trips, teaching you to ride a bike. Camping under the stars, we wanted to show you the beauty of the world. Rachel added, and we wanted to share music just like we used to. I can still hear your little giggles when we sang together. The sun sank lower, casting elongated shadows as Jamie envisioned the childhood she had missed. The idea of experiences layered with love felt almost too good to grasp. The weight of uncertainty shifted, and for the first time, she felt a whisper of joy creeping in as they drew closer to the end of the path. A soft breeze tousled Jamie's hair, and a thought danced through her mind. What would it mean to truly open her heart to them? Would taking that leap ignite the promise of their words, or would it unveil deeper wounds yet to be healed? The journey ahead could change everything, but was she truly ready for that leap? Jamie felt the sun dipping below the horizon, pouring shades of orange and purple across the sky. Each step forward felt heavier with the weight of her thoughts, yet lighter with the possibility of what lay ahead. A family dinner. It was a small enough step, yet it felt monumental all at once. She shared a hesitant smile with Rachel and Ethan, whose faces were illuminated by the twilight glow, hope shining in their eyes. What do I even cook? Jamie thought aloud, glancing at their eager expressions. I barely know what you two like. Rachel laughed softly, a sound that wrapped around Jamie like a warm blanket. How about we handle the food? We make a killer lasagna. You just focus on being you. The idea of them cooking in her kitchen sent a thrill through Jamie. Just the thought of the aroma of baked pasta filling her home felt welcoming, refreshing. All right then. Lasagna it is, Jamie replied, a flicker of excitement igniting. Perfect, Ethan said, nodding enthusiastically. And we can bring dessert too. Nothing too fancy, just some ice cream and fresh berries. As they reached the end of the path, the trio was surrounded by tall trees, their leaves whispering secrets in the soft evening breeze. It felt like nature was holding its breath, waiting for Jamie's next move. Okay, I'll text you both tomorrow with the details, Jamie said, her heart pounding at the thought. I can't wait. Rachel beamed, taking Jamie's hand briefly, while Ethan gave an encouraging nod. The simplicity of their actions made Jamie feel cherished, seen. They walked back towards their cars, the tension that had intertwined them earlier fading into the warm evening air. Jamie felt lighter, as if each step was shedding another layer of doubt. So, what kind of music do you want to play while we cook? Rachel asked, her tone casual, but Jamie could sense the eagerness woven through it. Anything fun. I miss so much, it'll be nice to finally do these things together. Jamie smiled, catching Ethan's eye. As they reached the parking lot, Rachel leaned in conspiratorially. And what about a family game night afterward? We could keep it cozy with board games or cards. Just something to laugh about. Now you're talking. Jamie laughed, the idea warming her heart even more. Okay, chase that thought, Jamie. That's the feeling you need to hold on to, she told herself silently. As they moved towards their cars, after exchanging goodbyes, Jamie watched Rachel and Ethan drive away, their taillights fading into the distance. Her mind buzzed with anticipation and nerves. In a few short days, she'd open the door to a future she'd always wondered about. Could this be real? Could they truly be there for her? Could there be laughter? Love, a family forged from the ashes of loneliness? She felt an electric mix of hope and fear. Doubts still flickered in the back of her mind, but tonight, she chose to focus on what could be. With a spark of determination, Jamie climbed back into her own car. As she turned the ignition, a song flicked on, and she found herself humming along. It was a song about starting over, taking chances and embracing the unpredictable. As she drove home, Jamie couldn't shake the feeling that the real journey was just beginning. But what if that journey uncovered old wounds, deeper scars than she was ready to confront? Would the promise of a family be worth the risk of her heart getting hurt again? The questions lingered like the stars beginning to twinkle above a beautiful yet daunting sight. It was time to face that truth. And she was ready. Or was she? The next morning greeted Jamie with a burst of sunlight flooding through her kitchen window. The walls felt like they were alive, humming with a promise of excitement just waiting to unfold. With a deep breath, she poured herself a cup of coffee, its warmth almost too comforting against her unsteady heart. Her phone buzzed. A text from Rachel lit up the screen. Can't stop thinking about lasagna. Ready for today. Jamie smiled, feeling a flutter in her chest. Today was different. This was more than just a meal. It was the first brick in building something new, a connection to what family could truly mean. Feeling inspired, Jamie rifled through her cabinets, gathering ingredients as if she were pulling together pieces of herself long scattered and forgotten. Each can, box, and jar brought her a little closer to home, a sense of belonging that had felt distant for so long. She moved to the music of her favorite playlist, letting the upbeat tunes drown out leftover worries. What if it all went perfectly? What if laughter breezed through the house, mingling with the aromas of garlic and cheese? The clock ticked closer to the appointed hour, and as the minutes slipped away, Jamie fiddled with her hair in the mirror. Tiny knots of anxiety twisted in her stomach, threatening to undo the positive energy she'd gathered. Just breathe, she whispered to herself, firmly pushing the doubts aside. Soon enough, the doorbell chimed, sudden and sweet. Jamie's heart raced as she opened the door to find both Rachel and Ethan standing there, arms loaded with bags of groceries and ice cream. Their faces were bright with enthusiasm, and in that moment, it struck Jamie how easy it was to smile in their presence. Smells amazing in here, Rachel exclaimed, stepping inside. Ready to conquer the kitchen? Ethan asked, his eyes sparkling mischievously. Together, they flooded the space with their energy, laughter echoing off the walls as they divided tasks and started bustling around. Jamie watched them, her heart swelling. It felt so right, like she had known them forever. They were quick with jokes and easy with smiles, making even the simplest tasks feel monumental. As Rachel simmered sauce and Ethan chopped vegetables, Jamie moved closer, taking a breath to steady herself. I really appreciate you both doing this, she said quietly. I don't have a lot of experience with family dinners. Rachel paused mid-stir and turned, her expression softening. That's the thing, Jamie. We're making memories together, and that's what matters. Family comes in many forms. The words wrapped around Jamie like a comforting blanket. She felt something shift within her, maybe even a growing belief that this could be real. As they slid the lasagna into the oven, the fragrance began to work its magic. The house started to feel like not just a space but a home. The laughter, the small talk, even the light teasing felt like stitches weaving her heart back together. When it was finally time for the meal, they gathered around the table, a tantalizing spread laid out before them. Ethan offered up a toast, his voice steady. To new beginnings and family, whichever way we find it. Yes, Rachel added enthusiastically, clinking her glass against Jamie's. In that moment, happiness enveloped Jamie as she sipped her drink, feeling a joy she hadn't known in years. But as they engaged in silly banter and light arguments over the best board games, an undeniable truth flickered in the back of Jamie's mind. Could she truly let them in without fearing the inevitable heartache should this all come crashing down? Was she brave enough to open herself up to love even if it meant risking pain? The night wore on, and thoughts swirled in Jamie's heart like leaves caught in a gentle wind. It all felt so right. Yet the tension of the unknown loomed larger. As dessert approached, Jamie caught Rachel's eye, who gave her a reassuring nod. "You're not alone in this," she seemed to say silently. Jamie took a breath, ready to embrace whatever came next, or perhaps whatever she was really afraid of facing. But was she truly ready to acknowledge that each connection she forged had the power to change her forever? The question lingered in the air, vibrant and alive, like the shadows dancing on the walls around them. Time pressed on, cradled in the warmth of shared laughter. The soft light that illuminated the dining room swirled around Jamie and her parents like a golden embrace. Jamie sipped her drink, feeling the familiarity of this new connection thrumming in her chest. The nervous knot slowly untangled with each joke and story shared. Yet shadows of doubt still loomed. Could this truly be her family? "More dessert?" Ethan asked with a playful grin as he set down a plate of ice cream drizzled with chocolate on the table. "Absolutely." Jamie laughed, her heart easing with the moment. But even with the sweetness of their conversations lingering in the air, she felt the uncertainty tugging at her like an anchor. She breathed deeply, lifting her gaze to the two souls who were once strangers but now stood so close. The words bubbled up within her like hot liquid ready to spill over. "Can I ask something?" Her voice trembled slightly, threading her fear through the fabric of the conversation. "Of course," Rachel replied, leaning in with genuine interest. "Why now? Why did you both decide to reach out after all these years? Was I in the right place?" The question hung between them, heavy with unexpressed emotions. Rachel exchanged a look with Ethan, and the gravity of the moment deepened. "We always wanted to find you," she began softly. "We were unsure how. The struggle was real, but life kept throwing us obstacles. Only now, after years of searching and countless setbacks, and finally finding each other again, did we realize how much we needed to try." Jamie nodded slowly, a knot forming in her throat. "So it was really about finding me, not just because it was convenient?" She needed that affirmation, a reassurance that she was more than just an echo of their past mistakes. "Absolutely," Ethan said, his voice steady. "It was never about convenience. We regret it every single day without you. Trust me, giving up on you was never an option." Each word surged through Jamie like a tide, pulling strands of hope closer to the shore of her heart. The sun began to set, casting a warm hue through the window, drawing the shadows out of hiding. They started to reflect on shared dreams and unfulfilled moments, creating an open space for Jamie to sift through memories, half-formed silences and unspoken words. "What was I like as a baby?" Jamie finally asked, her voice soft, yearning for a glimpse of the life she had missed. "Oh, you were a little bundle of joy." Rachel chuckled. "You would laugh over the smallest things. Like when I hummed songs while rocking you. You loved it and always kicked your feet." The memories felt like pieces falling into place. She imagined herself, a child draped in innocence, swirling laughter with her parents. It brought a rush of warmth, igniting something strong within her. "I've wanted those moments back," Jamie admitted, a hint of vulnerability breaking through the surface. "We can't change what happened," Ethan acknowledged gently. "But we're willing to build new moments together, Jamie. We'll create new memories. That's what family does." The simplicity of his words washed over her, and she exhaled slowly. A part of her was terrified of opening her heart completely, yet the possibility of healing felt just within reach. Maybe it was time to confront the lingering shadows, not allowing fear to overshadow the light that threaded through the edges of her life. "Okay, let us do this," Jamie said, determination rising as emotions swirled within her. As much as she feared the pain of history repeating itself, it felt worth taking the chance. The laughter twinkled like stars as they finished the evening over dessert, sharing stories of things they loved, hiding secrets in mutual laughter. Slowly, Jamie felt herself shine anew, like a flower blooming for the first time. After dinner, as they gathered around a game, the joy enveloped them. A night filled with playful competition broke down the last walls of uncertainty between them. As the credits rolled on yet another loud game, Jamie's mind buzzed with hope. "I might not know how this will all unfold, but I'm willing to try," she declared. The decision tasted sweet, a somber promise of connection echoing in the air. In that moment she felt a bond growing, one that could be stitched back together as Jamie bid goodnight to Rachel and Ethan. The weight of the world no longer pressed down on her shoulders. Instead, they stood together, a united front against the waves of her past. Jamie watched as they drove away, their taillights dissolving into the night, leaving behind a light that flickered brightly in her heart. And the days that followed, Jamie began to embrace her newfound family. She learned to take their calls, to laugh at their jokes, to create a space where they could truly belong. Each small interaction chipped away at the remnants of fear, illuminating her path forward. She attended support group meetings with renewed vigor, sharing stories of hope and love, inspiring others to chase after their healing too. Frank's warm smile remained a constant companion, always cheering her on as the days turned into weeks. Jamie realized family can be forged through heartaches, laughter, and purpose. Slowly, she learned to forgive not just her biological parents, but also herself for being afraid to hope. Courage blossomed within her, illuminating the darkness that once clouded her heart. With each moment spent with Rachel and Ethan, Jamie discovered the truth. Family had never been about blood, but rather the unwavering dedication to showing up, to building, and to loving fiercely despite all. She stood on the rooftop of her life now, arms wide open to embrace the sky, feeling grander than before. The storm she once braved now felt like distant thunder, washed away by the promise of new beginnings. That moment, Jamie understood it wasn't just about reclaiming a lost childhood. It was about moving forward into a brilliant future, alive with possibilities, ready for whatever came next. In this journey, Jamie transformed. She learned that family could blossom from ashes, and every step toward connection transformed her not only into the daughter she had wanted to be, but a woman born from light and resilience. With her pulse steady and her heart shining, Jamie finally knew she had found her place in the universe. And as the world spun on, she felt utterly alive. Now is the time for you to step into this journey. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you won't miss our next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and support this transformative tale. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this inspiring transformation. You need to show your support. Every action counts. Don't wait not even one more second to be part of our amazing community.